Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Takshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Canto 4, Chapter 6, Verse 46. Namai satam tvaccharanarpitatmanam bhuteshu sarvesha vikpashyatam tava bhutani chatmanya prathak didrukshatam prayena roshobhi bhavet yatha pashum. My dear Lord, devotees have fully dedicated their lives unto your lotus feet. Certainly observe your presence as Paramatma in each and every being. And as such, they do not differentiate between one living being and another. Such persons treat all living entities equally. They never become overwhelmed by anger, like animals who can see nothing without differentiation. So, glorification of Brahma. So again, this is the glorification of Supreme Lord. Those who have fully dedicated their lives unto your lotus feet. Fully dedicated means they don't have anything else in life but Krishna. So fully dedicated doesn't necessarily mean that one should not be in grasta. One can be a grasta also and still be fully dedicated. So one who is fully dedicated certainly observe your presence as Paramatma in each and every being. Of course, this is a very advanced stage when a devotee is able to see Paramatma in each and every being. So when the devotee sees Paramatma in each and every being, then he or she will not differentiate one living being from another because he'll only see Paramatma. They treat all living entities equally. Never become overwhelmed by emotions, by anger like animals. Animals cannot see anything without differentiation. So if we are not differentiating, then we are like animals. And so we should differentiate. We should differentiate good, bad. We should differentiate even amongst devotee community, neophyte devotee, then Madhyama Bhakta, Uttama Bhakta. We have to differentiate, we have to associate with the right kind of people. And then when we do that, slowly, steadily, as we make progress in bhakti, we can reach this stage where we will see only Paramatma in every heart, in every jiva. But differentiation is required, otherwise we become like animals. By the way, so when I'm saying this, so yesterday somebody was asking me saying today's in South India they do this Nagar Panchami. So there's some speculation saying that this is the worship of snake. Snake is Balaram. So let's go and worship. I'm happy that there are some devotees, at least in who are doing Shravanam from me, who even if they are unclear, they send a message to me and say, Prabhu, the other devotees are saying like that tomorrow they will go and offer milk to snake, saying that they're Balaram. So should we do it or not? I was happy that the Mataji asked. This is not for people who are serious in Krishna consciousness. Like this, we can go worshipping every person, right? Because every jiva is part and parcel of Krishna. So this is not our part of our sampradaya. This is not Vaishnava sampradaya. We don't go and worship snakes today. Um, so we have to see. We have to differentiate. It cannot be that okay. Some devotee said, "Oh, somebody okay, many years they be there in bhakti. They are telling, so let me also do." No, not just because somebody is there in bhakti for many years doesn't mean that he or she is following the right uh, standards. So we have to differentiate. Yeah, we'll have to say, yeah, no, but sorry, this is not our practice. It's not our sampradaya, so we will not do it. The Supreme Person of Godhead becomes angry or kills a demon. Materially, this may appear unfavorable, but spiritually, it is a blissful blessing upon him. Therefore, pure devotees do not make any distinction between the Lord's anger and his blessings. So, this also is important. They see both with reference to the Lord's behavior with others and themselves. Devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstances. Fault in the behavior of the Lord means why Krishna is doing like this to me. This is finding fault. Devotee does not find fault. He sees everything. Blessing, anger, and blessings are both blessings only. Mm. Mm. पृथग्धिया कर्मदृशो दुराशयाः परोदयेनार्पितहृद्रुजोनिशम् परान्दुरुक्तेर्वितुदन्त्यरुन्तुदास् मावधीद दैववधान् भवद्विदः. Persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Persons who are materialistic and always engage in fruitive activities for material profit cannot endure seeing the flourishing life of others. Except for a few persons in Krishna consciousness, the entire world is full of such envious persons. At least Krishna conscious devotees should not be envious. Mm, And these persons, envious persons, are perpetually full of anxieties because they are attached to the material body and are without self-realization. So when we read statements like this, we should understand this is describing an envious person. Is too attached to his material body. If I am attached to my material body, then I am also one among them. Since their hearts are always filled with anxiety, it is understood that they have already been killed by providence. Thus, Lord Shiva, as a self-realized Vaishnava, was advised not to kill Daksha. A Vaishnava is described as Paradukha Dukhi because, although he is never distressed in any condition of life, he is distressed to see others in a distressed condition. A Vaishnava is never distressed in any condition of life, but is distressed to see others in a distressed condition. Vaishnava therefore should not try to kill by any action of the body or mind, but should try to revive the Krishna consciousness of others out of compassion for them. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started to deliver the envious persons of the world from the clutches of Maya. And even though devotees are sometimes put into trouble, they push on the Krishna consciousness movement in all tolerance. So there's a lot of very important points out there here. So we should not be attached to the material body. We should not be envious. We should not be filled with anxiety. We should be paradukha dukhi. We should not have any distress in our own life, but we should be distressed seeing the distress of others. We should not try to kill by any action of body or mind. Mm, So by mind, body, words, we should not hurt others, but we should try to revive the Krishna consciousness out of compassion. Mm. Devotees are sometimes put into trouble, they still push on the Krishna consciousness movement in all tolerance. Tolerance. Pranadapi sunichena tarodapi seshnu namani namanadena kirtaniya sadaharihi. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than straw in the street. Mm. One should be more tolerant than the tree devoid of all sense of false prestige and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Um, so to be able to come to this state, we have to chant. We have to put a lot of effort to chant nicely so that we can come to the state where we'll chant the name of the Lord constantly. There's no other process. Chanting itself is a solution for good chanting, better chanting. But we should also try these, because I'm saying we should try this because it depends on our conditioning. Maybe we are supremely intolerant about some aspects, and maybe we are not humble. But that doesn't mean that we cannot chant at all. So we should chant, and with the chanting and pray for mercy that all these bad qualities go off. Then eventually we will become purified, and then we'll be able to chant the name constantly. There's no other shelter but Harinam. Because by our own strength we can't overcome any of this because we are in the tight grips of Maya. The conditioning is very, very strong. We, because of the conditioning, we are not strong enough to overcome the conditioning ourselves. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, if suppose say somebody's hands and legs are bound, he cannot free himself. Somebody who's already free should come and free him. So it's the spiritual master. So basically our Guru, Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, their instructions and trying to follow them, and of course taking shelter of Harinam, Shravanam Kirtanam. Then we should, our anarthas. So this is the process of anartha nivritti. And so we should overcome all our anarthas and then become fixed in bhakti, kaya vacha manasa, fixed in the consciousness, fixed in Krishna consciousness. So for which we have to, all these things have to be destroyed. All these anarthas have to be destroyed. For which we have to do Tivra Bhakti. Mm. It is easy yet difficult. It's easy because we don't have to go behind looking for various. We don't have to. We're not. We don't have to hunt for solutions. Solution is already there in front of us. We just have to embrace it nicely, follow the process nicely, and then we will actually make progress. Just imagine this state of nishtha when all our sinful reactions are destroyed. We become liberated. Is when kaya vacha manasa, 24 hours. We are thinking, feeling, willing, acting uh, as a pure devotee. Mm. Even though we might be working, we might be not working, that's not the criteria. Our mind is pure in pure Krishna consciousness. Then we can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. And this is the goal. This is an intermediate goal we have to reach. Intermediate goal, because the final goal is love of Krishna. But before we can get there, we have to come to this nishta. That means we have to overcome all our anarthas. And the one of the this is a sutra actually is to just be tolerant about everything. Actually, it's easier said than done. I mean, I'm struggling myself to practice this, but it's a remembrance. We have to keep reminding ourselves saying that no, I have to be tolerant. I have to be tolerant. And how do we learn tolerance? More we are Krishna conscious, the more we'll become tolerant. One of the things that I'm starting to observe is mm, we should always keep chanting. We should always keep chanting, meaning we should make it a practice to keep chanting all the time. If you're not reading, if you're not hearing, we should just be chanting. Somehow, like for example, you just, uh, you know, someone is cooking, just keep chanting. Somebody is eating prasadam, just keep chanting. Somebody is doing some office work, yeah, okay. When um, brain has to be utilized, then And what we can do is if we can work with music, some people can work with music, then we can play Hare Krishna Mahamantra and work. Mm. Right, so somehow we have to be constantly in touch with Harinam, and then seek shelter of Harinam. And then this is possible. Mm. Vaishnava should follow the examples of such Vaishnavas as Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, and also Lord Jesus Christ. This is also another thing, right? Actually, if we keep getting worked up every now and then, of course, life situations are like this. I mean, I'm seeing, like I was saying, so much of disturbance, so much of trouble. People are suffering so much. I can see that. I mean, four people in the house I am here now in this birth, and so much of suffering. Right? And what can we do? We have to just be tolerant. We can't do anything else. But we are also suffering along with the suffering that is coming to the body and mind of all the jivas in the house because we actually don't think of ourselves as soul. Actually, we are just thinking that I'm the body. And so we are also suffering. So we are all, so everybody is suffering. The only solution for that is Tam Siti Kshasva Bharata. Krishna, that is why starts off is practically his serious instructions by saying Tam Siti Kshasva Bharata. Until we are able to realize that I am not the body, I have to just tolerate this body. Once I reach the stage where I realize I'm not the body, then anyway, there's no question of tolerance because we have anyway transcended it. But till we transcend this, we have to tolerate. Like Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu. There's no need to kill anyone who has already been killed. I mean, everybody in this material world who is not a devotee, serious devotee of Krishna, is already dying, dead. So why are we going behind them to either, give whatever, right? Any kind of. We don't have to try and show our envy on anybody. It should be noted here with that a Vaishnava should not tolerate the blaspheming of Vishnu or Vaishnavas, but he should tolerate his personal insults. This is what we are worried actually. We are not even worried about this. Um, you know, but if this happens, then we should not tolerate blaspheming Vishnu and Vaishnavas, but we should tolerate personal insults. Till we become free of this false ego, till we become tolerant, there is no way we can make progress. We are stuck. We're simply stuck. We can find happiness by, retorting, by responding, reacting to situation, people. We might feel, oh, see, I got justice for myself by, that person was so unfair. And, by speaking unkind words, by doing unkind things, I'm like, happy now. Yeah, personal sense gratification, lower mode, animalistic. We can feel happy by doing these things, but we are not going to get Krishna. We cannot make progress. So the best thing actually is to simply tolerate. That is why I am very fortunate that I know of so many devotees who are so perfectly tolerant, and I keep looking at them and think about them. When I become intolerant, I think about those devotees. I don't want to name those devotees. They're also, they also hear my classes, but I look up to many of them because they are very, very tolerant. They're not perturbed. They don't get worked up. Somebody says something, they'll just smile at it and saying, okay, it's fine. So there are no false ego. Sometimes, it's good to just be the last bencher, like, not to be noticed by anybody, and, just be a nobody. And if you become somebody in community of devotees, that is another problem. Anyway, I mean, each of us have our own seva to do, but at the end of the day, we should tolerate every situation, personal situation. We should tolerate. Hmm. But we are constantly fighting, we are fighting the situations. We want to better our life. We want to. All this is so material, and it's not. And there's no guarantee that any of this will get actually accomplished. There's no guarantee. So again, in these verses, again and again, we are seeing this, uh, you know, uh, theme of tolerance. So I'm speaking about this every day and I'm remaining intolerant during the day. And again, I'm praying for mercy. Again, I'm trying to be tolerant. Again, I'm failing. So, and I'm going on and I'm just praying, saying that I don't know Krishna for how many days, months, years, lifetimes this will go on. But I have no other hope but Krishna's mercy and whatever my little attempt that I'm making. But conditioning is very strong. So it is difficult for some people. For some people, like I said, it's very easy because their karma is slightly different. They get stuck somewhere else. But maybe in this, which is why it's always good to be in the association of serious-minded devotees. We'll always be, we'll always see that some devotee has some good character, some other devotee has some other good character, and which will not be there in us, which is will be lacking in us, and so we can look up to them and actually learn really. How the way they deal with things, etc. And then we see them and say, looks so easy. I mean, they're able to do it so easily. Why am I struggling? Then more and more association with those devotees, then that effect will rub off on us also, and then we will also become develop those qualities. Of course, I mean, for all this, we have to be very, very dedicated, dedicate our life to Krishna consciousness as much as possible. And be in the association of nice devotees. Do our sadhana nicely. Don't be neglectful. Don't be complacent. If we are getting dragged somehow materially, then we should become alert. We should become afraid. We should somehow seek guidance, seek association, pull ourselves, try to pull ourselves out of, falling into the uh, quicksand. Material world is like quicksand, meaning once we get stuck, it will keep sucking us. So we have to be very, very careful, and we have to be afraid of Maya. Um, you know, so a lot of these things are important because Krishna conscious life, we can go up to certain level and then we get stuck. Then making further progress from there becomes difficult. And this is true for everybody. And because we are coming from the, with the momentum of previous life, till whatever stage we have completed bhakti, then till then we come very quickly and even little bit more progress we'll do. After that, we get our progress becomes low. Then we have to have a lot of patience, enthusiasm, determination, and keep going, keep going, keep going. The process will work. Mm. So tolerate. There's no other secret. We have to simply tolerate our life, our material life. यस्मिन् यदा पुष्करनाभमायया दुरन्तया पृष्ठधिय पृथग्दृशः कुर्वन्ति तत्र ह्यनुकम्पया कृपाम् न साधवो दैवबलात् कृते क्रमम्. My dear Lord, if in some places materialists who are already bewildered by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Godhead, sometimes commit offenses. A saintly person with compassion does not take this seriously. Knowing that they commit offenses because they are overpowered by the illusory energy, he does not show his prowess to counteract them. I mean, it's a direct instruction to tolerate. It is said that the beauty of a tapasvi or saintly person is forgiveness. So difficult. There are many instances in the spiritual history of the world in which many saintly persons, although unnecessarily harassed, did not take action. Unnecessarily harassed. Again, this is what we say. No, yeah, unnecessarily. This was unfair. I didn't do anything wrong. Unnecessarily. But they did not take action, although they could have done so. Parikshit Maharaj, for example, was unnecessarily cursed by a Brahmana boy, and this was very much regretted by the boy's father. But Parikshit Maharaj accepted the curse and agreed to die within a week as the Brahmana boy desired. Parikshit Maharaj was the emperor and was full in power with both spiritually and materially. But out of compassion and out of respect for the Brahmana community, he did not counteract the action of the Brahmana boy, but agreed to die within 7 days. Because it was desired by Krishna that Parikshit Maharaj agreed to the punishment so that the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam would thus be revealed to the world, Parikshit Maharaj was advised not to take action. A Vaishnava is personally tolerant for the benefit of others. When he does not show his prowess, this does not mean that he is lacking in strength, The other, it indicates that he is tolerant for the welfare of the entire human society. And in fact, it shows his strength. He shows his spiritual strength. When somebody shows their prowess, maybe they are showing their material strength, but it shows that they lack in spiritual strength. But when a devotee tolerates, maybe it shows lack of physical strength, but it shows presence of spiritual strength. And what we need is spiritual strength. No use having material strength. And of course, I mean, we can use that if required in Krishna consciousness, right? But what is actually more valuable is spiritual strength, spiritual purity. So again, solution is tolerance. Tolerance, forgiveness. Mm. We have to deal with people who are not Krishna conscious and they commit offenses, they do wrong things at us. But we should forgive them because they're overpowered by illusory energy. But if we also counteract, if we try to counteract, that means that we are also overpowered by illusory energy. So what difference between us and them? So very, very powerful verses and purport. Bhavamstu pumsa paramasya mayaya durantaya sprishtamati samastadrik taya hatatmas anukarma cheta svanugraham kartum iharhasi prabho. My dear Lord, you are never bewildered by the formidable influence of the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, you are omniscient and should be merciful and compassionate towards those who are bewildered by the same illusory energy and are very much attached to fruitive activities. Now, Vaishnava is never bewildered by the influence of external energy because he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So, if we are bewildered by influence of external energy, then we cannot necessarily call ourselves as a Vaishnava. Daivi Yesha Gunamayi Maya Durutyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. My divine energy, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who are surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. A Vaishnava should take care of those who are bewildered by this Maya instead of becoming angry with them. Because without a Vaishnava's mercy, they have no way to get out of the clutches of Maya. Without Vaishnava's mercy, they have no way to get out. Those who have been condemned by Maya are rescued by the mercy of devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Those who are under the influence of illusory energy are attracted to fruitive activities. But a Vaishnava preacher attracts their hearts to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Vaishnava preacher has to attract the hearts of the illusioned, conditioned souls, attract their hearts to Krishna. This is our job. So first we have to be attracted to Krishna. Okay, I'll just pause here 1 second. I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, so there's a brutal killing of Hindus in Bangladesh, especially in ISKCON preaching centers, and deities are getting burned down. All Gaudiya Vaishnavas are getting killed. Yeah, again, I mean, see, these things we should understand. Krishna is in control. Krishna is in control. Krishna knows what he is doing. We should not doubt this. Of course, it doesn't mean that we should not try to do anything about it. We should definitely try to do whatever is possible in our capacity. Right? But we should always remember that Krishna is in control. Krishna has reasons why he let something like this happen. And we should also understand that those devotees who are involved, actually it is their Krishna is giving them the required destination. Is not they're not neglected. Whatever is getting destroyed is the material body, but the spiritual journey of the jiva, of the devotee, is taken care. Will be taken care by Krishna. We have to have this faith. Unfortunately, this is our problem. Our problem is we see everything in the material vision only. We can't see spiritual vision. We don't have spiritual eyes. So I was telling somebody saying that one of our, very, very exalted Vaishnava, Indra Prabhu, many years back, uh, he left his body in the middle of a like a gas explosion, cylinder explosion. It might seem like, oh, what is this? How something like this, etc. Right? But we should know that Krishna is in control. Krishna is in control. Mm. But whether we like it or not, these things are beyond our control. Mm. So anyway, this is very, very important, that actually we have to learn to tolerate. In our own personal life, we have to learn to tolerate. Somebody says something, does something, tolerate, forgive, and all the time try to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I'm not seeing any other solution. Been contemplating about this. Looks like the only solution to get out of anarthas quickly is to just continuously keep chanting all the time. Okay, I'll stop there. There any other questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah.
One question, Prabhuji. Actually, it's a confusion, actually. So, when you said Vaishnava is personally, like, he should be tolerant for benefit of others.
Yeah.
So, it could be some ironical or some mocking also, we can tolerate. But if we see some adharma, like, for example, it should not be done. Some such cases. In those situations also, we should be tolerant.
No,
Like,
if it is about ourselves, we should be tolerant. If somebody is doing adharma to us, see, we
okay,
have to be tolerant means like, it's like, see, if suppose say somebody is cheating us, it's not like we will just keep quiet and say, okay, please cheat. Right? See, whatever intelligence Krishna has given and Krishna's property, Krishna's whatever belongs to Krishna, we should protect. Right? But this is about the false ego mostly. This is not about how we deal with other people, or it's about just false ego. Somebody said something, we get insulted. Hmm. So, it's more of this personal insult, etc. We should tolerate. But if somebody is doing something wrong, we don't have to tolerate, especially if it is related, connected to other Vaishnavas or to ISKCON, etc. We don't have to simply tolerate in the name of tolerance. Hanuman went and burnt Lanka. That is a Vaishnava, right? Of course, you see, we have to see what is appropriate. We should not be hot-headed, right? Like suddenly just go, somebody beat us, we'll also go and beat them. No, not like that, right? That is very uh, animalistic. So we have to see what is right we have to do, you know. But it's not like we'll close our eyes and just sit. But if somebody is just like, see, normally when there is danger, we are expected to, like in the Vasudeva and Devaki episode, Shastra says that till there is strength in the body, a able person should try to protect himself from death. Otherwise, it is sinful to not protect ourselves, not try to protect ourselves. That is said. So, thing is, when there is danger, we should try to do whatever it is to protect ourselves, because we have to live to serve Krishna. But words, like mostly we are, I mean, not all of us are getting stuck in such kind of very dangerous situations. But on a day-to-day basis, we deal with so many people, and we are normally we get stuck in personal, like words, insult, false ego getting hurt, and these kind of toto-moto things. Then that we have to tolerate. And sometimes, we are affected. Maybe, somebody loses somebody, you have to tolerate. Somebody has a bad health, you have to tolerate. Somebody loses a job, you have to tolerate. These kind of, things that are going to happen in everybody's life, results of karma phala, we have to tolerate. Try to do whatever is required to be done at that point of time.
okay, Prabhuji.
Is that okay?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah,
No.
thanks.
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, may I ask something?
Yeah, please.
Yes, Prabhuji, like you said of the Bangladesh devotees, always when there is some danger for the Vaishnava, or like they are in a trouble, we feel bad.
Hmm.
And we generally pray to Lord. We have a
Yeah.
tendency, although we know that it is Krishna's plan. So how
No,
do
it's
we
okay. We
like?
can pray. We can pray. See, praying, what should the prayer be? Prabhupada taught us actually when Prabhupada was not apparently not well. He said, you can pray specifically about himself. He was saying, my spiritual master's work is not complete. Krishna, if you so will, if you so desire, let him remain with us and complete his, like that. Right? So, see, at the end of the day, we can pray, but Krishna, if you will, is a very important part of the prayer because we are not expected to go against Krishna. What do we know? I mean, what do we know? Um we don't know anything. We can't understand anything. We can't understand why what is happening. Only Krishna knows, and Krishna is in full control. So first is feeling bad, or telling, oh, how Krishna let this happen. This means complete lack of faith, right? So we can pray, Krishna, if you so desire, please protect these Vaishnavas, right? So we can pray. Praying is seeking spiritual welfare of other jivas is compassion of a Vaishnava. So we should pray, but the important part in the prayer is if Krishna wills, if Krishna desires. That is very, very important.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, another thing is that it's a general question. Like when we offer food in the temple, it's like always I'm not able to recite all the mantras because, like my family, they too don't believe in this process. So they are after me. I want this, and I have to run. So is it fine that I keep the plate, I put tulsi dal, and just ask Lord to just accept it, like without
No,
chanting
as
the
you are
mantra?
putting the bhoga in the plate itself, you offer it. Like you start chanting the mantras. It's okay. See, Krishna understands our situations. As far as
Mhm.
possible, we should make it as close to standards as possible. If not,
Uh,
Krishna will understand our situation, right? It's not that he
Because
will not
sometimes when
understand.
they're falling out, I just forget on which mantra I am, like the three. So I was thinking,
I mean, that will take 10 seconds, Mataji. See, these
okay,
things
okay,
are not really, they're not very difficult, but at the same
okay,
time, I'm sure Krishna understands your situation. If you're trying to sincerely try and this is how best you can do, then yeah, Krishna will accept it. Right? But
yes,
Krishna will also want to see whether we are putting our effort to do the needful. If you are, then yeah, it's between, see, I can't say whether it is right or wrong because it's between you and Krishna. Because Krishna knows the reality of your situation and he will accordingly accept it based on your situation.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to apologize that I'm not like able to offer pranams in the beginning, or because
No, no,
sometimes
it's
I
okay.
am
No
in the
problem.
room with my husband and he'll be like, "What are you doing?" I
No
just put my
problem.
earphones and just
Oh,
here. I'm
no problem.
not like showing
No
that. I'm
problem. No
sorry,
problem.
I'm sorry for
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Okay. We'll stop here. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna